Today we're going to talk about the types of fractions you should know about, and we're only going to focus on the positive fractions. But the same concept applies to their negative counterparts. Let's do this. Let's start all the way at the beginning, right at 0. Here we have our 0 fraction, and these are fractions that are 0 divided by any whole number in the world. And for example, they can be 0 over 1 or 0 over 12 or even 0 over 876. After this, we have our proper fractions. Now these are your fractions that are above 0 but below 1. And they include things like 3 over 10 or 1/2 or 3 over 4. So what makes a fraction a proper fraction? It's pretty simple. If the numerator, which is the top number, is smaller than your denominator, which is the bottom number, you will be looking at a proper fraction. And you also probably seen this everywhere from cooking books to road signs or shopping sales. Let's take a look back at our number line. So far, if fraction is from 0 to 1, we call it a proper fraction. Then what do you think all the rest of the fractions above 1 are called? Improper fractions. Improper fractions are just fractions that are greater than 1, and they include things like 3 over 2, 20 over 7, and even ones like 352 over 283. So how do you know if you have an improper fraction? If the top number, the numerator, is bigger than the bottom number, which is the denominator, that is exactly the opposite of a proper fraction. And the crazy thing about the improper fraction is that there is no limit to how big they can be. They can literally just keep going on all the way into infinity. Now moving on, next up we have our whole numbers, and these are already labeled here as 1, 2, 3, 4. But any whole number can also be turned into a fraction. For example, we can divide all of these whole numbers by 1. And now they're officially fractions. And I didn't change their value at all, because the number divided by 1 is just still the same number. Now, let's take a look at this one back over here. This one is called a whole, and we can also write this as a fraction using another numbers like 2 over 2, or bigger one like 10 over 10, or maybe 852 over 852, and so on. As long as the top and bottom numbers are the same, your fraction will equal to 1, and you can call it a whole. Lastly, we have a mixed numbers. And just like improper fractions, mixed numbers are also greater than 1. And these include things like 1 and 4/5, 2 and 11 over 30, or bigger one like 3 and 1 over 10. So what makes something a mixed number is, it is just a whole number added together with a proper fraction. Isn't that cool? But even though we are adding those two things together, we don't write a plus sign in between them. But you can assume that there is an invisible plus sign in between your whole number and your proper fraction. Now, here's something a lot of people ask me about you. And mixed numbers are just like improper fractions. They are greater than 1 and go all the way into infinity. Now here's something a lot of people ask me about. As you may notice, both mixed numbers and improper fractions occupy the exact same space on our number line. And this means you can write the exact same number as either a mixed number or an improper fraction, as long as it's above 1. So how do we know when we are supposed to use a mixed number or use an improper fraction? And as we will soon see, we usually tend to use mixed numbers to represent things generally in our life, because it's easier to understand, but we will use improper fractions more when we do conclusion, because those are easier to calculate things. So this is the 5 types of fractions you should know about. To summarize, we have our 0 fraction at 0, then in between 0 and 1 we have our proper fractions, above 1 we have improper fraction and mixed numbers.